come before us and wanted to put a work trailer on top of it as well.
Right.
It's kind of,
I'm with you on that. I mean, we could say that, we could put that it's approved administratively for anything less than, I don't know, 2 acres. Then anything more than 2 acres would have to, the board would have to approve the landscaping plan.
so 2 acres of a 15-foot buffer is what? How much linear feet is that?
How much? How wide?
Yeah,
Yeah.
What width did you say?
15 foot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Feet.
Now that I think of it. So
That's a
2
lot.
acres would
That's a lot.
be,
That's gonna be a crap ton of land.
6.
That's what I'm saying.
A
So
lot.
I think it needs to be less than that.
yeah,
Be-
yeah. So anything, that's right. If you're talking about,
Cause you're talking area, not just width, so.
well,
And even a
Yeah.
small area could be very critical. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it could
like
be
the
a-
Goshen, that could have been, and I don't remember the size, but
Yeah.
you want to just,
you know,
I mean,
an eighth of an acre would have been huge.
a half acre or less.
I'm saying quarter.
What?
I like quarter.
Quarter? Okay.
With the smaller, I have no pity on
What
these
is that?
people. They've got plans, they're supposed to be knowing what they're doing, and it just seems like the mentality is, I'm gonna do what I wanna do, and I'll ask forgiveness or pay whatever little fine or whatever you're gonna do, and then I'm gonna move on, but meanwhile, I've got exactly what I wanted, so
Okay.
I don't have any kind of pity for people that, even if it's a honest mistake, I'm sorry, you know? You should've had your people checked before you went in there with a bulldozer and
At 15
Bulldoze
feet, a
everything
quarter
down.
acre is 726 feet.
That's
Yeah,
pretty,
that would have,
that's pretty,
yeah.
that's
well,
7 houses.
that's if it's a
I know,
minimum, but,
that's a big thing.
Selling R1
Anyway.
lots.
yeah. And most of the time, we're talking about these buffer violations of residential, not
Yeah.
necessarily of, industrial or business. So usually it'll be the 15 or the 50 front, right? So that if, assuming this change passes, so,
Well, that'd be about the width.
Yeah, an
the
acre
width
is-
of what happened on Old Augusta though, wasn't it?
An
Vic?
acre's
Was it- that'd be about
2,904 feet.
750 feet?
I don't remember the width of that buffer.
I don't remember either.
Yeah,
I'm just sort of looking at it,
Yeah.
you know, as you ride by
As you
it.
ride by.
Goshen's probably
Yeah.
500 something foot, I would guess, to the tree line.
So, I mean, that was the whole side there, that
Mhm.
development.
yeah, I think that's fair.
Quarter.
Yeah, quarter.
Anybody for an 8? Anyone for an 8?
0.
But, and 1,000,
Yes, all that, accountability will be there.
On buffers. Y'all still on
and
buffers?
triple planning.
Since I came in.
Yeah, we're
this
still,
is still
yeah,
buffers.
we just
That's
got
what I
started.
figured.
You weren't, yeah,
It wasn't.
we started late.
Gotcha. All right.
All right.
Next up would be what?
Discussion of Ebenezer Historic Overlay District.
Yes, sir. So, Effingham County staff did host a charrette and an additional community meeting to gather public input on the Ebenezer Historic Overlay District ordinance. And I cannot say enough how invaluable that information was. So the district will encompass the areas from Brookstone subdivision to the Ebenezer Creek along Ebenezer Road. And this district will include parcels within 500 feet of the center line of Ebenezer Road on each side. So the overlay district develops.
Down the back,
Oh.
you said Brookstone to where?
No, I think it was, we changed it from the railroad tracks.
Railroad tracks.
It went, yeah, initially, and then we were going to bring it from Brookstone to,
The river?
yes.
Okay, I thought that was the part I heard. I didn't hear.
It
yeah,
extended,
okay.
she was,
Okay.
she was
Yes,
saying
ma'am.
kinda how it grew.
Yeah, okay. I'm good, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. So the district develops specific criteria for the parcels. These include specific uses that are not allowed. Staff did speak with the Department of Community Affairs when looking at uses that could be allowed or not allowed. in an overlay district. And the DCA did say that limiting uses is something they see other communities do when doing an overlay district. So you will see that in the ordinance. A minimum buffer of 30 feet from street right away. This was something that came out of the charrette. It was a range from, like 20 feet to 70 feet. So 30 feet is what is in the ordinance, but definitely subject to change if that's something you would like to see. A maximum building height of 35 feet. And then specific signage requirements and standards. Again, at the charrette, signage was something that folks were pretty set on, and if there were going to be signage out there, what it should look like. And then, of course, your maintenance standards for the area. So, just kind of a brief overview. The underlying zoning regulations and applicability. So the zoning is there, and then like a commercial overlay, the historic district overlay would provide further regulations or restrictions. So,
And one of the interesting things that came out of this was, that you kind of start off this process by finding out a lot of people who are advocating on this behalf, and then when you get all of the residents involved, you realize that there is far from universal support. And that's kind of what we found out at meeting number 2.
yes.
And so with that, we kind of, because the most important thing you're doing is protecting the actual property owners in the district, right? So if you're going to take away, so we viewed it as their voice was probably was a very important voice in this process. And so we've tried to come up with some basic limitations that don't go overboard, because the common thread that we heard in those meetings is I don't live in a homeowners association, and I don't want to live under homeowners association rules effectively disguised as an overlay district. And so so we kind of pared back things based on that feedback. We've, and again, even on the signs portion of it, one thing, you can restrict, if you want, home occupations are fine, but residential home businesses, you can restrict out there, because home occupations don't have signs, right? I think everything from a certain point to the river, we were a little bit more flexible on, because they already had their uses established, like the retreat center and the churches, what have you.
Boys home.
And the boys' home. So we may kind of create an area that any sort of sign standards don't apply to. We were trying to figure out how we carve this up and make it palatable, but not interfering to existing residents out there. And so that's kind of the struggle that we're in is, and do we want to pursue this at all? And so we were going to come up with a kind of a basic ordinance and then just present it to y'all, and then you all can make that decision whether it's something we want to continue along with, whether it's something we want to create tighter restrictions or looser restrictions. But the public information process, as Chelsea says, was extremely valuable.
Yeah. So it seems like what I recall anyway from it was they didn't want commercial, they didn't want industrial, they didn't want high density.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a way that we can restrict those things without putting the HOA type maintenance pieces
You
in
can
there?
limit it to R1 and above, and R1. The only R is R1.
Okay.
Because there's no water and sewer out there. I mean, there could get water and sewer potentially extended a little bit from the roundabout.
Right.
Or do we have different standards before the roundabout because, or do we just not include that area in it because you already have R1 and R6 already there, right? So if you go from the roundabout, which is effectively Brookstone, right, to the river, limit it, the location from there, you can potentially say no, the only zoning is permitted there is, or just no R2, 3, 4, or 5.
What is Brookstone's R2, right?
Brookstone is R1.
One.
Is it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And you have to be careful, so you can limit uses, but you can't limit specific zoning districts. So you can't put in your ordinance, there will be no B3. You can limit uses within B3, but you can't say that zoning.
Well, one way around that is lot size, because if you limit it to R1, you're at a minimum lot size of half acre, or did we say quarter acre if you have water and sewer?
Water and sewer.
And that's your risk is on this. If there's never any water and sewer out there, I don't think you're really going to have a problem on the residential side. Everything's going to be limited to an acre, right? Unless somebody comes in there and tries to do. You know,
Brookstone's R2 presently.
what's that?
According to his property record cards, Brookstone is R2.
Oh, okay.
All right. I thought they
That,
were R1.
that must have been right at the end, but it's, I think that neighborhood pretty much lays out as an R1 though. But,
It's an R1.
yeah.
It's
And
a
I don't-
nice little
Yeah,
subdivision
it
out
is.
of
It
that.
is.
There are no duplexes in there,
Mm-mm.
and so I don't
I'm
really
aware
know.
of that.
Yeah, zoning's R2, class is R3 residential.
Which is
You know
which
what?
is duplexes and multifamily, which there's none.
Yeah,
Right.
no.
Then we already have a grandfathered in B on the corner lot right there
Yeah.
It's got some
with some
stipulations.
restrictions to it.
But, and when you say roundabout, so that's any land that touches the roundabout?
So specifically for this, it would be 500 feet from the center line of the road. So center of the roundabout, 500 feet on each side. So yes, any of that, because that property's right there, so.
Because as I recollect, I agree with Damon that the main thing was that, you know, they just wanted it to be an area that just looked rural Effingham that led into the historic district of Ebenezer. You know, not to, you know, see different commercial establishments or high-density stuff, you know, because you're going to an area that you're trying to preserve as historic, and so therefore, you know, they wanted to maintain sort of that rural look to it. So however we can do that, if we can do it by
Well,
restricting to R1 or eliminating or,
And as long as we're talking from kind of like the, you know, the Ebenezer side of the roundabout, which is Brookstone over, I don't know that you would have much of a problem with saying, you know, an acre to a half acre lot. There might be some non-conforming in there. I just don't know, some small little cutout parcels. But I don't think there would be that much of a problem conforming, certainly not a half acre, because you're not gonna have a choice unless you run water and sewer down there. And if water and sewer does not cross the roundabout, then it's not a problem. It just kind of protects from water and sewer, you know, going down there, because it's really not worth bringing water and sewer if you can't get the density from it.
Yeah, not only do they have to have water and sewer, they still have to get a rezoning, so they have to have board support. And It would be a high hurdle for me to support anything in that area anyway with a heavy use.
Do you remember?
But I
where-
also, on the other hand, I don't want to take somebody's rights to ask for
Right, I
that.
was gonna ask you, do you remember,
That's
like,
kind of, in my
That's-
opinion,
well, that's-
Mr.
I mean,
Seconder,
they
for
can do that at
example,
any time, right?
not if we do the overlay district.
Not if we do
Yeah.
the overlay.
Mr. Seconder had some land over there, and he was pretty fired up about, restricting
He was one, there were several, but
the potential on it. Where's his land at in proximity? I mean, 500 foot is not,
It's right there as you, if you're coming from the schools,
mhm.
okay, and you have the house on the right, that's that old grandfathered NB
Yes, ma'am.
zoning, his is right across the street,
Okay.
so it would be impacted.
He would be
For
impacted,
500 feet.
yeah, for 500 foot, that's correct.
But I mean, I think the land from the roundabout back to the railroad track, I mean, it's pretty much such a mismatch of things right now to sit here and say you want to, I don't have a problem with moving the overlay district from the roundabout on, because you've got R6s in there, you've got businesses in there, you've
That's
got,
right.
I don't know what all, schools, and,
Mhm.
I mean, everything. So
Yeah.
I think that's just sort of lost. But that part that's past the roundabout, or from roundabout on, it's still like you're riding in old Effingham.
Mhm.
And I think that's what the people, the majority of the people, the ones that want to develop, of course, weren't happy, but the majority of the people that were there, wanted to try to maintain, they were worried about losing what they had, if there was not some kind of protection.
Right, I think the kickback we got was when we were really talking about, design standards and anything
Yes,
like that.
yes.
That, if you didn't live there, you're all for it, but if you did live there, you're not generally for that at all. But I think doing the stuff like the setbacks, and even, and I can't speak for the folks, but, because I don't, the lot size issue, I don't know whether that was, we had a Q&A on that or not, but that may not be that may not be that much of an issue for the reason I mentioned. If you have no water and sewer, you ain't getting a lot at an acre, less than an acre anyway.
So that will hold that back anyway.
Yeah. So,
And I don't know how far water and sewer currently is anyway.
does it even go to Brookstone?
I don't know.
Uh, yeah.
The houses that are being built right behind Brookstone have water and no sewer.
Okay.
Septic, that you have septic systems, that's right.
That it doesn't go across the traffic circle
Yeah.
at all.
Well, Brookstone is across the traffic circle. No?
Depends on what side
Am I
you're looking
thinking
at.
of-
Oh, it's on the school
It's
side.
on the school side.
Okay, I'm thinking of the other, okay,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, but why would we even
Kind of the
include,
beauty of that neighborhood, it's just kind of there, but, it's beautiful back in there. but-
Well, aren't
Nice,
we
got nice
just,
buffers
Yeah,
out
I
front.
know, I know.
I think we're starting there, Tim, because the property, the plat that is across the street from it is combined with the property that's on the adjacent side. If you were to split the roundabout in half with Old Augusta Road, there's a conjoined property that is divided by Old Augusta Road presently, that I believe's
Yeah,
coming
but-
up soon.
so it stop,
It's still well there.
but what I was saying is that it stops, water and sewer stops before the roundabout, right? If it stops at, Brookstone,
I think, yeah, because I think the only reason they've got it is because the school's got it.
yeah.
Yeah, it takes a hard.
And so
right.
my thought
think
is,
that
if you
would be
just
some-
make it from the roundabout,
Got it because the
Yep.
schools were there.
I think you're right.
Yep.
from one side of the roundabout over, you've kind of, you've created that kind of what you're trying to accomplish, create what Commissioner Helmy was mentioning, which was, this side of the roundabout to the river, and then whatever limited standards we want to put in for them, and I think most of it would be taken care of by setback and lot size. And then, the other thing that was brought up is no businesses. And so if we limit,
How would that affect existing businesses? Is there any agricultural businesses there presently?
not business license wise, no.
Where at?
On Ebenezer Road?
Down in
I think we looked at it, I mean, other than the retreat, but I think we hold,
Oh, further down.
we basically go from like an electrical easement over, where we say that anything beyond there, because that's all effectively,
I thought there was like a stable or something there.
if there is, it doesn't,
There's a church, you know.
if there is, it doesn't have a business license, so,
But that's really close.
I mean, there
to
could be,
Ebenezer.
someone could be raising horses
that's
there,
right.
but not have a commercial stable.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, do we even need where it says that 518.6? Do we even need where it says all permitted uses with the underlying zoning district shall be allowed, and it lists all these all these types of businesses? I mean, do we just say, can we say that there's no bees permitted in that area?
Yeah. There's no B but the issue has to do with the residential home business. And we can't say there's no B allowed, right?
Yeah, you can't limit the zoning.
Can't limit the zoning, but you can limit it to residential uses and,
Which is still that's conditional, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would have to be approved by us, right?
Yeah.
Right? If it's
Yeah.
a residential business?
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm saying, residential home business
Yeah.
would have to approve by the board.
Or you just could make everything conditional and
But to me,
In-
you
in
wouldn't
commercial.
even need that then, because you'd write it or you'd add it, 518 would turn into something else, which would be,
We're gonna have the rezoning anyway,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
But you bring up a good point, since we changed the residential home business ordinance, it acts as almost like a rezoning, because it has to go in front of y'all anyway.
correct.
Whereas a home occupation, which is, I don't know if anyone
Yeah,
would have a
that's
problem with,
administrative, yeah.
doesn't.
Yeah.
And so, so I don't know if we have to restrict use. But or if we do, we just restrict it to, uses allowed in residential
Residential
districts.
home businesses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the only property we have in Contentment has a restriction on it anyway that's commercial as it sits presently.
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay.
That would eliminate, well, you didn't have this listed, so I can have this business.
Now, if a
Yeah.
property owner was affected, just say Mr. Secretary, he could ask for a variance from that, correct? From the 500-foot, come before us?
Yeah, you can get a variance. It's just zoning, sure.
Okay. Because his property's the backside of it. It encroaches probably about 40, 50
I mean,
foot per the measurement.
anybody in that
Sure,
area could.
Right.
Yeah.
Was trying to appease all sides here.
Mhm.
Should we send, the residents a copy of this
Well, what I would probably do is send them.
once we narrow it down or
Yeah,
tailor it
we
down?
got to finalize it first.
We can probably fit this all on one side of paper, right?
Yeah, I
we
think
can,
so.
we can finalize it,
And then,
and then before we approve it, you all just say, yes, it's ready to send out to the residents, and then send it out tomorrow.
right, and then Jake could throw it up on the website with a link to it and do like we were talking about in the meeting the other day.
Right, and we also put the link on the board, so
Right, with the
folks know.
whole, yeah. Okay. What you think, Forrest?
I'm good.
It's not near you, right?
That's a whole other side of the county. All right,
All right.
tree ordinance.
Here we go. All right, so, the tree ordinance that you have, in your packet or before you, it is what we would consider a tree protection ordinance. So it provides consistent and enforceable guidelines for tree removal, replacement, and prevention on development sites. It also contains requirements for street trees, something that's come out of the steering committee as well. So you'll see them not only in this ordinance, but also in our residential districts too. And then, of course, requirements for trees on public property and public rights-of-way. So just as a background, staff did research surrounding counties and cities, other jurisdictions for their tree ordinances as well. So the city of Rincon, the city of Puller, and I will say Henry County had a lot of inspiration, came from those. It is split into 3 sections. So again, your tree protection with your definitions, and then the public property and public right-of-way, and then the street trees. I also want to mention that to provide a plan for tree preservation resulting in the preservation of green space, natural habitats, and improvement of stormwater retention is a goal that is stated within our comprehensive plan as well. So, looking at this ordinance, you'll definitely notice there are many definitions, and I think that's critical because, you need to know exactly what part of the tree or what, part of the ground the tree is encompassing as well. Again, this ordinance will be for all new residential, commercial, and industrial developments, public projects and right-of-ways, and then existing residential lots when tree removal involves a protected or specimen tree. So that would be the only time for existing residential lots. Here are some of the exemptions. So your agricultural operations, removal of dead, diseased, or hazardous trees that are certified by a licensed arborist, and then emergency tree removal to protect public health and safety, so in the event of an emergency. We do have, so under tree protection requirements, so the land disturbing activity permit that we currently issue, if clearing and grading is taking place for 1 acre or more, would require a tree survey. And without that, the approval of a preliminary plat or site plan would not come before you. So that would be part of that process. And then it does specifically mention that only so much land area shall be cleared as is necessary for the development. So the roadways, utilities, amenity areas, and open space. Again, being consistent with your buffer ordinance and just a way to implement that, please don't clear cut the entire property. Protective fencing shall be installed at the edge of the critical root zone, and desirable trees should be identified and a physical barrier set up around the tree or group of trees. Again, we'll see that on the tree survey. And then, moving into replacement tree standards, a developer will be required to plant the minimum required number of replacement trees, no less than 2-inch caliper, and a minimum height requirement of 8 feet. So that is, again, pulling that from similar tree ordinances as well. And then, let's see. So for larger sites, 1 acre or more, no more than 50% of the trees planted shall be the same species. That way we're not getting all of one species, it creates diversity. Let's see. Residential tree replacement, a residential lot shall have a minimum of 3 preferred replacement trees, 1 which shall be located in the front of the residence. So this allows residential lots to have that tree in the front of their home. Let's see.
So, just scanning through this briefly, tree protection requirements. No tree shall be removed or land disturbed activity shall take place without a tree for survey being first performed by whom?
So this, and we will put that in there. It would have to be a certified arborist.
How are we incentivizing not removing trees?
So I think that part of this ordinance, that is, part
It'll be
of.
in the zoning, won't it?
So it'll be something we can look at for incentivizing. However, I would say when looking at these ordinances, it wasn't so much as incentivizing as it was just saying you have to protect these trees.
And this is just my simple mind thinking. If I'm arranging my drawers at my house, I put all my socks in one drawer, I put this in this drawer, and put this in this drawer instead of spreading it out all over the place. Is there not a way we can consolidate everything to one? Obviously, you're gonna have cross-referencing into your Rs for trees, because we put the street trees and all that in there. It seems to me we do a lot of hopping around from C 4.1, C 6. You know what I mean? It's just like it looks like a workflow chart sometimes. Is there a way to consolidate that all into one ordinance?
Well, and I think so. Henry County specifically, not only is there, for their tree ordinance, it's their landscaping, their tree protection, and their buffer ordinance. So I think that speaks to kind of what you're saying. You know, we could take trees and buffers and landscaping, if that's what we want to call it, and make it mimic that as well.
And I know of other areas are doing, if you want to remove a tree, it's going to cost you. And there's a tree replacement, bank basically set up for that type of stuff. Tim, are you familiar with any?
Yeah, and so, because there's some instances where it's just going to be completely impractical to leave a tree in place, right? So you got to incentivize them not to do it. But if they have to do it, then, I think of something similar to the sidewalk ordinance on businesses where, you're creating a limited use fund that you contribute to, and there's a formula base to it, so that those funds can only be using to plant trees at additional locations. Or I think that's one thing that we could add in there, or some other mitigation where they can agree to, that, let's say they had an open field or something like that, that if they used, the protected trees and planted them in there, like live oaks, like maple, etc., they could essentially, they can mitigate by planting more of those in one location. But, I think, to your point is, I think we have to say, well, what if you have to remove a tree? There's only one way in the neighborhood.
We set a minimum and maximum, trunk width and height already, correct?
Yeah.
So if you have to remove that tree because of, I guess you don't have to, you could be the reason to have to, other than building on top of it. So if you wanted to remove it, what is the valuation of that? Where does it go? How do you relocate it in the property? Or does it just, go to a fund, and when we build a new library or whatever we decide to do, we use that money to fund street trees or whatever we're doing in the future?
And that's what I'm thinking, is that you just create you're not to remove these. You can get essentially an exception, but it has to go by this formula. In some cases, they actually they require that to be approved by the board. I know that certainly was a case in Charleston, where if you wanted to remove a grand tree, that was one of the things that was brought to council. So even if you had you subdivided your lots, you're in a neighborhood, then all of a sudden you want to build, and you're like, oh no, I can't do it.
Well, we're specifying grand trees. I kind of sit them to the side because that's, but we are naming particular species of trees. That's where I think that would fall into. Obviously the grand tree would be a big deal, but I'll call it the common trees of a certain circumference and a certain height. How do we incentivize that staying there? And that's what you're, I believe, answering right now.
Yeah, I think we probably have to we have to figure out, I mean, because we tend to put it in the ordinance as you have to do this, right?
Right.
I think the last time we came across here, it was more of like an incentive, but it was kind of a weak incentive, where we were saying that, you know, if you save a tree, you don't have to do this, you know.
We're just replacing now. We're just saying
now-
remove, replace, remove,
Now we're
replace.
saying that you have to save the tree, but if you, that you're saying that unless you have an exception, the tree has to be saved. Your exception means you have to do this sort of mitigation, similar to wetlands, right?
Right.
You can't build in wetlands, but if you have to, right, there's a very costly mitigation that you have to go through in order to do it.
Correct.
And I was gonna say, and I know we're getting, you know, putting work on people, well, every time you say this, that, and the other, as far as stringent stuff, but, you know, you can say, you know, you go in there and you go say, just like you say, you can't cut this tree down, okay? Because it's considered whatever kind of tree it is. And so they say they can't put a septic tank in then, or they can't,
Right.
you know, the road was designed to go there, or that type of stuff. So I can see where we work with people, but just like you say, well, we might make the exception for that one tree, but everything else, I mean, you're just gonna have to work around it. You know, you may have to change some of your design a little bit, because, I mean, we're working around it with that great old tree that's on, what, Jennifer Circle or whatever?
Yeah.
I mean, so, I mean, I think there's just, and even though you say this tree's not a grand tree yet, yeah, but it's a pretty sturdy oak, and in 100 years it will be a grand tree, you know? So, I don't know, I
Well,
think,
I think setting the ordinance gets you ahead of that. So when they're doing the
Yeah.
designing, they will know what they'd be infringing upon, sorta,
right.
to a degree, just from the survey in itself of the property.
I think if you make them look at it in terms of, here's the expectation, like you say, there's not a, you know, it's just, if you wanna do that, this is what you got to do. Just like we tell them, you know, what the sewer requirements are, or you gotta have an acre to put down a septic tank. I think it's just, you just add that to it.
Well, I'll tell you, the other issue that I don't know if we put in here is which is a common thing we deal with right now, is the clear cutting the lot first and then putting the property up for rezoning after clear cutting. And is that referenced in here as a time frame?
It is not.
Okay.
no.
And so I think there has to be some sort of minimum time frame, because,
Those properties are typically in CUVA already, correct? I mean,
yeah, but they be removed. So here's what happens.
yeah, they get them out and then they put them up for
Yeah,
sale.
they harvest the timber, clear the lot, don't replant, and then put it up for rezoning, or put it out in the market at that point. And, you know, all the, you know, looks like a barren wasteland at that point. And so, you know, I think the other thing we probably have to address with this is the time period. If you were to do that, there has to be a minimum time period of 24 months or something to that effect, before you can
Rezone the
apply
property.
for any sort of rezoning on the property or subdivision of the, or major subdivision of the property. And so, because
You
if
still have
that,
to meet the buffer requirements when you do develop it, right? You still
Yes.
have to bring the buffers up.
yeah, correct. So they'd still have to replant,
That's right.
but every tree in the middle would be gone.
Yeah.
That's right.
And so, but if it's, you know, if it's after 2 years, you know, maybe that it solves both problems. It gives them time to reestablish the buffer but it won't bring a grand oak back to life,
Yeah,
but
no,
at
no.
least it
I mean,
puts a
you
little
know,
bit of a penalty from
well-designed
taking that.
neighborhoods, I've seen, they bring in trees and plant, and, you know, it's kind of like a prop.
Mhm.
Um,
Well, the
yeah, I
street
guess
tree
it's a
does
matter of what
address
they
that a
want to
little
spend,
bit.
I guess.
Because we're being really, we're we're being demanding on the street trees, right? We're not, and we're, you know, with regards to size and species, as a matter of fact, I only think we're doing live oaks, right? Is that?
So that was suggested. So if that's exactly what we want to go with, we absolutely can.
Simply because you don't want to make the decision as to what tree goes in there is what's the least expensive to put in, but maybe the highest maintenance. Like you don't want crepe myrtles put in everywhere,
Yeah.
you know, and they got to be cut down,
Trust
you know,
me on
after
that.
6 years. And live oaks, we know they perform well here and they create what you want, which is the canopy.
Canopy.
So,
Gotcha. Good. All right. We are 6 minutes over.
so we'll work on
We'll
that,
kick
come
on
up with
this
a
maybe
better
at the work-
draft, and then have another one of these
Maybe run through this briefly at our retreat.
at the retreat too. Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Do we need a quick break or anything? Or you guys ready to roll?
Let's go.
Are we gonna pause at 6? Or we're gonna pause before we go to the, then I'm good.
Okay. All right. You good?
I'm gonna get some water, but I'm good.
I'm doing pretty good. Did Roger, Jamie not gonna make it?
What's that?
I hope he didn't make it.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have a meeting.
What, when we called in, I don't think he did today.
All right. Good evening, everyone, again. Welcome to the Board of Commissioners' regular meeting agenda, September 16th, 2025. The time is now 5:07 PM. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Commissioner Floyd, Commissioner Burdette is not present. Chairman Ron.
Here.
Commissioner Deloach is not present. Commissioner Helmley,
Here.
Commissioner Kiefer.
Here.
You have a quorum, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Commissioner Helmy, you mind lead us in the invocation and pledge, please?
Did you say me?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I'd be glad to. Y'all rise, please. Dear Lord, thank you for the opportunity to come here again in this great county and do your work. Guide us and lead us to do what is best for the citizens. And there's a lot now, and so we definitely need your guidance. We thank you for this beautiful weather that we're having, this wonderful touch of fall. Little rain probably, although that's caused us some issues in the past, but little rain probably wouldn't hurt. But be with everyone here, dear Lord, and guide us to your will. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, ma'am. Moving on to item number 5, agenda approval, consideration of a resolution to approve the agenda.
Mr. Chairman and board members, there are no changes to the agenda. However, if we could take a moment to pause, I'd like to recognize Tashina. Tashina has completed 101 course hours to gain her certification as a Georgia certified clerk. So, round of applause for her, please. Get a quick pick, that would be awesome, before we approve the agenda, please.
Can we do it up here?
Come up there. She can come up there, that's fine.
First reading and the second reading of what we discussed on the.
Thank you, everyone. And with that addition, sir, there are no further changes to the agenda, so staff recommends approval of the agenda as presented.
Thank you, ma'am. right.
Motion we approve the minute, no,
Se-
I'm sorry, we're still working on the
Agenda.
agenda, right?
Yeah, have a motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Moving in item number 6, minutes. Consideration to approve the August 14th, 2025 work session and September 2nd, 2025 regular meeting minutes. No changes, entertain a motion.
Make a motion we approve as written or submitted.
Second.
A motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Item 7, public comments. Comments shall pertain to the agenda items only. Should you wish to make remarks, clearly state your full name into the microphone before commencing to speak. Item 8 is correspondence. The agenda packet for this meeting is posted on the county's website. Any additional documentation presented at the meeting shall be submitted to the clerk for receipt, recording, and distribution to the board. Moving into item 9, consent agenda. This section shall include all routine items for which there will be no discussion. Should a need arise for a debate, the item can be moved to the appropriate area of the agenda. Item number 1 in consent is consideration to reappoint Rebecca Boston as non-public representative to the Coastal Region Commission Council.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Moving into item 10, unfinished business. Contains items held from the previous agenda. Item number 1. Consideration to approve the second reading to amend Appendix C zoning ordinance, Article 3, 3.4.7, residential subdivision open space and green space article of the Effingham County Code of Ordinances. The first reading was approved August 5th, 2025. I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion we approve the second reading.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Item number 2 is a change order. Consideration to approve change order number 1 to the T-Splosh 2025 Maintenance Resurfacing Project, Districts 3, 4, and 5, awarded to McClendon Enterprises, Inc. for the addition of Corinth Church Road test section, including milling, paving, and shoulder building. This was postponed from our September 2nd, 2025 meeting.
Well, this is Jonathan Hall, County Engineer for Effingham. This agenda item actually needed to be the T-Splosh D3, change order number 1. It was for Green School Morgan Road. We approved the Corinth Church Road item at the last agenda, but regardless, I'd still like to present the other change order.
So that's right, because Corinth Church was done, so we're doing, which one now?
This would be with the Reeves contract.
Green Morgan?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Green Morgan School. It's for the T-Splosh 2025 Maintenance Resurfacing District 3 contract. I know we've got multiple resurfacing contracts out there, so I apologize for not getting the right agenda item on there, but
Okay, this is with Reeves.
yes, sir.
All right, just making notes for it here. Okay, all right, go ahead.
Yeah, so from the last agenda meeting, or from the last meeting, we postponed this to get the budget figured out as far as, if we could do all of Green Morgan School Road or if we could do a partial. After sitting down with finance, we were able to determine that we're going to be able to do the entirety of the road, and that some of the other projects actually came in under budget, and so we'll be able to fund the entirety of the project, and we won't need to deduct Pitts Road anymore from the contract. Mark, the finance director, will be presenting later the budget amendment. Assuming that gets approved, we would have the money available for Green Morgan School Road. And we would be doing roughly it's $1.2 million for the entirety of Green School Morgan Road. So staff's recommending the approval of the change order as noted.
If I can ask a quick question, Mr. Chairman?
Yeah, go right ahead.
So Pitts Road, when you say it's not going to be removed, it's not going to be resurfaced though, right? Chip sealed?
Right, so we had originally in the contract to mill it and to prepare it for chip seal. So there was some work that was
Okay.
in this change order to remove it entirely and to not do any work
Okay, I
whatsoever.
just wanted to make sure we weren't gonna resurface it because one of the commissioners spoke with the residents out there, and they would prefer the
Chip seal.
chip seal.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so we'll still plan to do chip seal for Pitts Road, but, you know, we'll be doing some work on Pitts Road, so this work on Pitts Road can still be in the contract.
So the motion we're considering here is for change order number 1 for Green Morgan School Road to be completed by Reeves Construction.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And for $1.2 million, or $1,221,474.94.
Gotcha. And this is where we pulled a road out. Is that right? Or we had additional funding?
We have additional funding within T-Splosh to be able to
Okay.
do this. Some of our other projects have come in under, so.
Gotcha. I know there was one we removed and we moved around somewhere else, I feel like.
Yeah, I know Midland Road isn't going to be as substantial. We're going to do some treatment for that in the future, but it's actually holding up pretty well. So, and then some of the other roads, the money that was allocated for it, we came in under budget. So after doing an extensive review, we're going to be able to add this road.
Okay, thank you. All right.
Sure.
I'll entertain a motion to approve change order number 1, Green Morgan School Road, to be completed by Reeves Construction for $1.2 million.
Okay, I guess I'm confused, because it says McClendon Enterprises. So is that Reeves Construction, or
Yes, ma'am. So
McClendon is Reeves?
No,
No,
and,
ma'am.
it's a totally different company. It looks like the wrong item was put on the agenda here.
for second reading. So there were 2 change orders on the last agenda. We approved Corinth Church Road. We
Right.
did not, we tabled Reeves and Green Morgan School Road. So we are correcting it to change this to Green Morgan School Road and Reeves Construction.
So what's written on the agenda is wrong?
That's correct.
That's correct.
Okay, that's why couldn't follow you, okay. All right,
All right, Stephanie.
But you read it.
Do you have
the
all
way
this,
You want
Stephanie?
the motion.
yes, he read
Yeah.
it, but,
Okay.
that's what confused me, okay.
So moved.
Second.
Having a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Item number 3, consideration to approve the second reading of an application by Adrian Weber as agent for DRD Investments 2 LLC, James Dewberry, for a variance from section 5.7.10.6 and 5.7.24.1 to allow for a decrease in minimum acreage required for an RV park in R4 located on Highway 21 North, map number 315, parcel number 8 in the 3rd District, postponed from our September 2nd, 2025 meeting. I believe we had plenty of discussion on this one, too.
But it did pass, so this is just a second reading with
That's
the
correct.
noted changes, right?
That's
I make a
correct.
motion we approve the second reading.
I'll second.
Have a motion to second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Moving into new business. Consideration to approve a final plat as requested by Coleman Company, Inc., Justin Palmer for Lonadine Phase 3, located on Highway 119 North, map number 344, parcel number 26A in the 3rd District.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. So Coleman Company, Inc. Contractors have built roads and drainage infrastructure for Phase 3 of Lonadine to sell 35 lots in this planned development subdivision. Water and sewer services will be provided by the City of Springfield. The county engineer inspected all roads, right-of-ways, and drainage infrastructure that is being dedicated to the county and recommended approval. The bond recommendation has been reviewed and approved by the county engineer for $68,066.03, which is 10% of the total cost of construction for this phase. and the county attorney has reviewed and approved the warranty deed and infrastructure agreement, so staff recommends approval of the final plat.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, sir.
I'm here on on behalf of Coleman Company,
Okay.
just in case.
All right. Does anyone have any questions on this?
Yeah, how many total houses are we looking at in here?
35?
No, I'm talking about for the entire,
Oh. Like 300, 400?
and I'm learning how to read plats better, but there's only one entrance, right?
Yes.
Okay. And when is our new,
There's actually two entrances. There's one emergency gravel access off 119, and there's a entrance for
So you do have two.
residents. Yeah, sorry.
but one is considered emergency?
Right.
And is it gated off, or will it be gated off? I mean, I know we talked about one last week that was
Yeah.
gated.
Yeah, it's gated off.
So in an emergency,
There's Knox box, all that.
when, and of course, that's gonna be addressed on our new things, right?
Well, we've since addressed that. So we originally didn't have a second entrance requirement. Then I think we kind of tiered it, and I'll send you out the updated ordinance, where, because it's kind of a balance, right? Their situation is partially that they're somewhat restricted on 119 because it's a GDOT road, and GDOT is very hesitant to give out any additional encroachments. But so some of it is, I think it's 120. You have to have a second entrance for
Yeah.
emergency it can be,
That's in the fire code, right?
yeah, a minimum requirement is that it's for fire. But if it's full access, even better. But then we say that if you need to have a certain amount of homes before we can allow you to have a second encroachment, so that way that prevents someone from subdividing a piece of property and having 8 driveways going on a major road. And so it's somewhere kind of in between here that we have that, but fire has access to those gates at all times.
Is this the site? It's kind of across from the high school?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I just hate to have that many houses, and I understand your emergency and all that, but if something happens and somebody's got to get out before somebody gets there to open it, that gate's shut. I mean, I guess, I just hate having, I hope we can come to a happy medium on our future things about.
Where is that emergency road exiting out at?
So we did it in phase 1. It's just east of the main entrance,
Okay.
a couple 100 yards.
And I think there's some commercial properties that it kind of, is this the one that it goes through the commercial frontage properties that you don't control?
Right.
Yeah.
That's correct.
So it could end up happening, that you could have some sort of permanent access there once the commercial property get developed, but it's not promised, so.
Yeah.
And I just like to say, I wanna try to address this in the future when you have so many houses. Because I just think gravel roads have to be maintained, and all that kind of stuff that comes in there. So I just think one day there's gonna be an issue when somebody can't get out if something happens. So that's all I have.
But as written, it meets all our ordinance. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Very good. All right, for no further discussion, I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion, we approve the final plat as presented.
Second.
A motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Item number 2, consideration to approve resolution number 025-031 to amend the 2025-2026 fiscal year budget.
Good afternoon, Mark Barnes, Finance Director. Like Jonathan pointed out, the bulk of this amendment is for Green Morgan School Road. There's also additional funding for the Hunter's Chase stormwater work, and then it also carries forward some funding that had been available in 2025, but the project's now needed in 2026. Staff recommends alternative 1 to approve the amendment.
Thank you, Mark. have anything on this. Any discussion? If not, entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the resolution as presented.
Second.
A motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Motion carries. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
Item number 3, consideration to approve a professional services agreement with GMC for architectural and engineering services associated with the renovation of the Effingham County Office Annex Building located off Highway 119 in Springfield, Georgia.
Sir, Lauren Schuman, Project Coordinator. Staff is recommending the approval of a professional services contract with Goodwin Mills Kaywood to provide architectural and engineering services for the full renovation of a 16,000 square foot county office building located on Highway 119. This project is going to modernize spaces for DFACS, Department of Juvenile Justice, Action Pact, Ready to Connect, Family Connection, and Victim Witness. GMC has already completed the 100% pre-design phase for this project, and this proposal covers the remaining full design phases, carrying it through bidding and construction administration. So staff recommends alternative 1.
Thank you, ma'am. No discussion. Entertain a motion.
Make a motion that we approve alternative 1.
Second.
A motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
None opposed. Motion carries. Item number 4, consideration to approve appointment of Veronica Edenfield to the Library Board as representative for the 4th District.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, you said it. Staff recommends approval based on a recommendation by Commissioner Helmley.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Hellman, you have anything you want to add to this, or?
No, I worked with it, Ms. Edenfield a long time, and she's a good person, and I think she'll be an asset to this board. I'd appreciate y'all voting to put her on there.
Thank you, ma'am. Would you like to make a motion?
I make a motion we approve the appointment of Veronica Edenfield to the Library Board.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Motion carries. All right. We want to go and do our reports.
The only thing I have is just to give you a heads up that I assume some of you know that we do have the State of the County coming up, a luncheon on the 24th, and then of course I've gotten some of your feedback with regards to topics for the retreat, which is on the, let's see, the beginning of October.
2nd.
Yeah, it's
3rd. Sorry, 3rd.
Third,
Yes.
that's right. We have a preliminary agenda that we hope to get out this week, and we're just kind of going over topics. Primarily, we're trying to break this up so we don't have, we're not throwing too many topics at once. This one, we're going to concentrate on capital projects simply because we do have the renewal of SPLOST coming up within the next year. And we want to be able to kind of begin the process of discussing projects for that.
Very good.
So if you have anything else that you wanted on the list, by all means, let us know.
Okay.
But some of the stuff we've been taking notes at the meeting, like the tree ordinance, we will put on there, and we'll also put on there some time for a quick review of the recommendations for the residential zoning classifications.
Very good. And just so I'm clear, the chamber's the 2nd or the 1st? Okay, so meet and greet the 1st? No meetings that day? Okay. So the actual meeting is the 2nd. Okay. Gotcha. Thank you, ma'am. All right. Anything else from other staff? Anyone?
No, sir.
All right. We got 30 minutes. Do we have a need for executive session, Tim?
I do not on property. No, I don't have any issues that I need to discuss.
Okay, very good. All right, well, we'll adjourn the meeting, take a break till 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
Are we gonna have anybody, our little commission, what's going on? You wanna do that now? We're gonna do that later?
Oh,
Will
you
will
didn't
you
get,
go through and see if anybody has anything?
I
to
didn't
say?
have anything, but,
Oh,
well, you can add it, go ahead.
no.
If you got anything.
I
she
just wanted to say I was unable to, I had a conflict Sunday night, but the memorial stair climb, I've just heard wonderful, wonderful things about it. So congratulations to all those that were involved and of course the unbelievable response to it. That I've looked at a lot of pictures online, but like I said, I've talked to several people who said that it was just great. And, I hope y'all raised a lot of money.
Yes, ma'am, we raised just over 12, well, right around 12,000. We've already got a lot of interest for next year already. We've had people express interest and didn't participate this time, they're going to.
Yeah. So.
Are you gonna participate next year?
I will hopefully be able to be there as a rah-rah, but there's no way I can climb stairs.
And I apologize, guys, for skipping you guys. Forrest, did you have anything while we're
I do not.
open mic? Phil?
I'm good, I'm good.
Okay.
That's all I wanted, it was a great thing and wanted to give a little kudos out, so.
Very good. All right.
Now I'm done.
And now we'll take a break until
Okay.
6 o'clock.